right, everyone. The finale. Okay, so Connor Mantz. My favorite Connor Mantz story is, well, I have two.
Oh no.
Well, I have three.
Oh no.
But I'll tell two. I'll tell a couple.
Hey, if one's good, let's stop over her head.
Well, one is we were at a Nike event camp at the headquarters in Portland, and Connor and Galen Rupp, they'd never met. Well, have you met?
I met him like a high in high school, you know, like.
Okay, like a.
Like, oh, it's Galen Rupp. Yeah.
So he was like, oh, Galen. And at this point, Galen's never beaten you, or you've beaten Galen like the last 3 times
yeah,
or something,
like that.
right? Yeah. And so Galen's like, you know, he's not like the most friendly person you'll ever meet, right? But they were gonna go. They went on like this easy run, and there's this like wood chip loop around the campus, and they like. Galen was like one-stepping you or something.
He's going pretty fast.
No, it was an easy run, and they were running like, what were you running?
We were probably running like 550s.
Yeah, 550s on their easy run, and that was.
Which even like, I need that like said I'd never really do that on easy runs, like never.
Well, wait until my second story about you.
Okay. I was like, I don't want anybody thinking, yeah, I need to run 550s.
But yeah, they were just kept on coming around, and they kept getting faster and faster. And I was like, oh my god. But anyways, the second story, you were like coming back from an injury. You were on the treadmill.
Oh yeah.
You're running 5 out based on the treadmill.
That was a workout though.
Okay.
That wasn't an easy run.
Oh, that wasn't an easy run. I thought you were doing an easy run.
No.
Okay, you're doing a workout. My bad. The third story is that when we go to Nike, we get to go shopping at the employee store.
Yeah.
And every single thing he bought was for his wife. One of the first questions I got from Connor was, is his wife crazy?
I am.
All right. What's your goal?
I need to talk to my wife.
Okay. Oh,
I'm the consultant husband. I am not going to say I'm the coach.
yes. Awesome. Okay, do you want to sit here?
She just got here
I just got
from Castle Rock, so.
Oh, wow.
I've got a bunch of family there, and so just hanging with family and some whole family just happened yesterday that just happened to be in Top Floor, so I left him and
Nice. Yeah. Well, you're welcome. We can get you a chair if you want to be part of it. Oh yeah, let's get you a chair. Okay, you can sit here. I'm like,
Yay.
No, you're just great. No. Sit here. Okay, I'll sit here.
Oh, then you can be like Maury Povich. I don't know why that was a reference I did for talk shows.
All right. So those are my Connor stories. So basically, Connor, the biggest question when I'm like, all right, what do you guys want me to ask Connor? What do we, is like, how do you, like, you usually are leading the race, right? Like, you're not scared of leading, you're not scared of pushing. It seems like you kind of go in the well early, but you're able to hold it. What's going through your head? How are you not scared? What's your strategy? Tell us a little about that.
So, one, I think I have a great coach who gives me a lot of good advice, and I think trusting his race plan is really big. Because if I don't know, anytime I don't trust his race plan, then I usually end up either disappointed after because I didn't go for it, or I get disappointed after because I went out too hard and blew up. So it's nice when you go into a race with a plan and then you just execute that plan. Whether it is going out front or not going out front, it's just you make the decision before the race starts what you're going to do. And so for me, if it's like I'm trying to run the fastest time possible, it's usually even pace or pretty close to even pace. And that can feel daunting because those first few miles get very quick. But it's just making that decision before the race and then just try and execute during the race.
So when those first 2 miles feel quick and you're like, is this okay? How do I keep going? How do you overcome that mentally?
What I like to do is think about my training, think about what I did to get there. I do panic sometimes, but I have to like remind myself. Like I'm normal. I'm like everyone. Like races.
Not true.
Thanks, Nell. I'll take that as a big compliment. But yeah, like don't panic when things get difficult, or when you're like, oh, I'm a mile into a 10K race, and I thought I was going to like this pace is supposed to be my goal pace, or I'm a little slow and start hurting. But I think it's you gotta like relax, be like, okay, I've done this in training. I ran so many miles. I've done my workouts show that this should be doable, and you just gotta go and execute and follow that plan through. And you know, if it doesn't work once, it doesn't work twice, it'll eventually work out. So yeah, that'd be what I say. I'd say with that.
Okay. So, can you guys talk about your plan now, right now, in front of us?
Sure. So, my wife Kylie just ran at BYU for 1 season. Pretty incredible. Her last year of college, she was able to walk on her track team for outdoor track. Didn't run in high school. Always ran, but never like competitively or did workouts. Hobby jogging. Let's see, your best time this year was 34.7.
Whoa.
But we all know that Boulder is at altitude. It's hilly. There's a lot of turns. This course isn't the fastest course.
It's not a track.
It's not a track. It's not a track at sea level in perfect weather. Actually, the weather's going to be pretty good tomorrow. But so let's see. What do you think? You've had your workouts.
Yeah, and I feel like workouts since I've actually not been with the team have been a little more suited. I don't know.
I think so.
They feel a little more doable within my range. I did like your idea. I am go home on Tuesday and so not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday I'm running a half marathon.
Nice.
And so that's the angle. That's the angle.
Okay.
And so this is more of like, of course, take it like a race, but that's not like,
Don't put as much pressure.
no goes more. And so we talked, because we're at higher altitude, to go out at marathon pace and then just try to see, like at least my thought process when I was thinking about it this morning was like, obviously it's first 4 miles, and then mile 5 is downhill. And so kind of pick up some speed and then just do whatever I have, mile 6.
I like that. So, don't have marathon pace. Are you thinking like 550? That's kind of where my mind's
That's
at.
what my mind's at.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 550 to forward, and then 5 speed up a little bit, and 6. That's your plan.
That seems, I don't know, given the 3 by 2 mile that I did, that just said like that's what my brain's on.
Right.
Those last 2, I was able to drop it pretty good, and so it would be interesting to apply that to the business.
I like that.
Awesome. That's great. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, what's your half marathon?
I believe I've done 1.
But what are you racing?
I'm racing the Utah Valley now.
Okay.
So it's in Provo.
Okay. So altitude.
Altitude,
Yeah.
but it's
It's one of
pretty
those
much
downhill
down.
ones.
Although, but it's not like this.
Yes.
It's just
The perfect grade down.
Yes.
Okay.
A little bit.
Awesome. Cool. All right. All right. So Connor, what is your plan on Monday? Because we
Yeah.
did talk to Bia and Hillary.
Oh no.
They want to win.
They don't want to win.
So what's the strategy? What did Ed tell you?
So this time Ed was telling me to actually play it a little conservative. So I ran the Boston Marathon 5 weeks ago tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did you too?
No, I was watching.
Um,
I'm so baby.
Much more impressive. So yeah, it's been 5 weeks. My training's been up and down since then. I guess not up and down. I just took a break, like everybody does after a marathon. And it was Boston, so the course is especially hard on your legs. And so I'm going to go out a little bit conservative this go around. But the last 2 times, last year I led a lot of this race. The first time I ran it, I didn't lead as much. But then this time I'm kind of taking that approach to not lead as much, just because I want to feel it out that first mile. Because while I would love to run, a course PR, I have to be realistic with myself. The weather is going to be better tomorrow than it was last year and 2 years ago, so I have that going for me. But it's a tough hill. It's going to be tough to win, so I'm kind of just focused on how I'm going to be feeling at a mile in, and if I'm up at the front, that's where I want to be, but maybe not leading, that'd be great. But I'm also, with this course, sorry, I'm talking a lot.
No, this is, we're like,
So my first time doing this, I kind of just got stuck in a spot where I was running alone from mile 4 to mile 5.5, 5.6, and I was just running alone. The leaders were probably 30 to 50 meters ahead of me, and so I was just kind of like, I was running my race, my pace, everything. They were trying to pass each other. They were pushing the pace, trying to like make moves and break one another. And unfortunately for them, but fortunately for me, they broke them going too hard at moments early in that hill. Made it so when they actually hit the hill before the turn, they were kind of toast. So I was just running my own rhythm, my own pace, and I made up that 50-meter gap. And I caught everyone one at a time, and then I was able to come away with the win, which was great. So I'm kind of trying to have that same mentality going in this time. It's like, if I just kind of run my own pace, maybe I'll win, maybe I won't. But it's not as much about like trying to beat the other athletes. Tomorrow, just where I'm at in my training, it's kind of like, how can I get the best out of myself? And yeah, just kind of getting that rhythm. That focus in my rhythm.
Yeah. So what has your training looked like the last 5 weeks? What's your break look like? What's your comeback look like?
Yeah, so the week of the marathon, I think I ran every day except maybe one.
The week after the marathon?
The Monday
Okay.
Yeah, Monday to Sunday. I was running most of those days, but it was like 1, 2, sometimes it was just 2 miles. Like I run her warm up with her, so 2-mile warm up with her, and then I go time her workout, or I just go on like a walk or something. So I didn't really run that much that week. Next week I started running about 10 miles a day, so a little more aggressive than most people should. Next week I think I did 15 miles a day, and then not this past week, but the week before that, I think I did closer to 18 miles a day. I take Sundays off though, so this is for 6 days, and then I'll take a day off. And then this week was more like 15 miles a day, and the week leading into this. And then as we got closer to the race, I kind of went 14, and then like 10, and then I just kind of did a little shake out this morning.
Because your peak mileage is 20 a day, right?
Yeah.
For 7 days, for 6 days.
For 6 days.
So what does that equal?
That's 120.
120. Do you feel the need to go up or down? Like, I know you trust your coach, but you're racing against people who run 140 and 150.
Yeah, I want to go up a little bit, but it's a gradual build. I can't it's every year I just want to improve either a little bit, whether it's running workouts a little faster or a little bit more volume every week, but that's kind of where I'm at. So I think this year I'll kind of bring it up a tiny bit, maybe in the summer, but we'll see. I got to okay that with my coach.
Does he know you want to run more right now?
I haven't talked about it yet, but it's something I thought about more this week.
Oh, this week?
This week, I was just reviewing things with the boss and what worked, what didn't. I did 1 week where I had a photo shoot that I didn't think I'd be running at, and then they had me run like 5 miles with it. And so that week I was like almost 130.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I was like, okay, if I ran, I was going to hit 125 that week and kind of push the boundary, and then I had the photo shoot. So it just lengthened everything. But after that, I was like, well, if I could get to the point where I'm doing that every week, like some of my competitors, the guy who won Boston was on Strava, and he was doing, I think, 130s, 140s, so I don't know. Maybe I'm comparing too much, maybe I'm not, but
We'll see.
we'll see.
So, I've heard a lot of things from your Boston. Like I've heard some people be like, Connor didn't want to win. They were like, let those Africans beat him. I was like, nope, that is not right. Because you were, can you take us through that race?
Yeah, so I'll go into more detail about the ending miles and the beginning miles, but who there's been Boston? I'm sure, okay, over half. The Boston Marathon, like that first mile, or first like half mile is super steep downhill. And so we started out pretty quick because of that, and then those rolling downhills for the next 3 or 4 miles, maybe like you're going a lot faster than you usually would in a marathon. And so I was kind of upfront, I'm just like filling my body out, and a lot of people were kind of gauging off me. I hit about the 10K mark, and I threw my water bottle, and I saw that where I was throwing it was right where my dad was with the camera, so I knew my coach was going to be there.
You did that? You just happened to do that?
Yeah, I knew they would be around 10K, but when I threw it, like, I wasn't really looking out in the crowd, but when I threw it, I see my dad being the, stereotypical dad with his I hadn't seen the picture or the video or whatever he took, but I saw his eyes and forehead, and I'm like, oh, there's my dad. And so I was like, I need to watch out for my coach. My coach said, hey, don't leave. He just said, don't leave the rest of I don't know, not the rest of the race, but for a while. And especially if you're running faster than we had originally planned to run. And so I got right behind a couple other athletes for the next 10 miles. And then I knew at mile 16 in my previous Boston experience, somebody who's won it twice at Cheap Bet usually makes a move around there.
Yeah.
So I was waiting for him to make the move. So I went to the front because I was like, when he makes the move, I don't want to be 3 seconds back behind him. I want to be ahead of him so he has to come around. And he ended up not making the move. And then we go through the Newton Hills, and I was actually feeling pretty good. That's miles like 16 to 20. And then we hit the bottom of Heart Break. And I'm on one side, and I look back, see my training partner Clayton is kind of falling off. I'm like, dang it, like I wanted him to be up with me. And I look up, and John Career, the athlete who ended up winning, made his move. And I was back in the pack now, so I made the mistake of not keeping myself in the front. Went around the pack, tried to catch him, I couldn't. He was running too fast. And then 3 athletes caught up to me. And then the 4 of us kind of switching off, trying to beat each other. And one of them, I would try to speed up the pack, and he would drop off. And then I'd get tired, and I didn't want it was windy, so I didn't want to be in the lead. So I'd slow down and get behind the other 2 guys. And then the guy that dropped off would catch back up, so they would slow down. And it was a little cycle that happened the next 3 or 4 miles.
What was your mental? Were you just like, no? What was going on?
Mentally, I was like, I want to beat these guys around me. Like, I was like, what? These guys look pretty strong. What do I need to do? I was getting frustrated that this other athlete kept catching back up, and then I'd speed up and he'd drop back, and then he'd slow down and catch back up. So at one moment, I just made a really hard move, and then with 2 miles to go, I had a bad experience 2 miles to go the last time I ran. I kind of started blacking out. So I was like, okay, let's I'm like, what do I need to do to do well in this race? And so what was going through my mind was like conserve a little bit, don't black out. Obviously.
Just don't black out.
Just don't black out. But it was also, okay, second place is within my grasp. Like I'm second right now. And I decided to wait until these guys weren't slowing down at all, so I said, oh, I think I might be able to outsprint them, which isn't always the best plan. And so I was like, maybe I'll be able to outsprint them. So I waited till 1,000 meters, 0.62 to go. You go under a bridge, and then they have a big sign. It's like 1,000 meters to go. Like that's when I'm gonna make my move. And I made a hard move. You make the right turn on Hereford, and then left on Boylston. So on the right turn on Hereford, I was all out, like going as hard as I could up that hill. And in my peripheral vision, I could see these two guys, one right here, one right here.
No.
And I was like, one of them's gonna jump off, and then I get to the top, and I just see them both like go right past me. So I catch back up, and we're running in a line until about 300 meters to go. We hit mile 26 together, and I'm already all out sprinting, and they like turn to each other and they just go. What was funny though is they didn't know where the finish line was. They probably went like 100 meters beyond the finish line, sprinting like, trying to.
Who had won at that point?
They didn't know who won out of either of them. And maybe not 100 meters, but they went like 50. They went well past the finish line.
The finish gear goes so fast.
Yeah, the finish line's, because they have the big, like, they have the line, and then a little ways later they have, like, the banner, but then they kept going past it, and it was just, like, they were just trying, like, they wanted to beat the other person, there was nothing, like, they were going to do to let the other one win.
Wow.
It was comical for me, but it was also, like, it was a bummer, because I was like, yeah, I want to beat these two guys, I want to be the one who takes second, not fourth, like, but it was also funny for me to watch as I am.
So you were actually being like,
I'm done. They're still racing.
So, because when you're at the tech meeting, MK is like, guys, the finish line is the tape. It's not the fit. Like,
Yeah.
He doesn't really.
But
Do
they all-
they speak English?
One of them did. No, both. One did for sure. That was like he was Kenyan. He spoke, I think, pretty decent English. There's another one from Tanzania who speaks English, but his English wasn't as good. So
Yeah, I mean, it's probably like not as good for them because they can't. The technical meeting, there's some information that would be good to know. You know.
Yeah.
Do we have family? This is my aunt and my grandma. Pass it around. Thanks for letting us. Thanks for letting us join us. Oh my God. Yeah. All right. So, I mean, that's a crazy. So people really want to know how it feels when you're racing that fast. Like when you're running sub 5-minute miles for so long, they don't understand what it feels like.
I wish I could explain.
I feel like you can answer this because you're more newer into that, so you kind of are closer to us. How does that feel?
Well, I think that's part of my reason for actually walking on to BYU and like getting into running was like, what does that feel like? And honestly,
Terrible.
like I guess it depends on where your fitness is.
Yeah.
What your threshold is for a marathon or for a 10K is a lot different than his. And so you might actually be feeling what he's feeling. He just has a different level of fitness than the rest of society.
Right.
And so, but it is really cool. Like from my personal experience, it's interesting to watch that threshold grow. Like, oh, I can go a lot faster and feel this pace, and I feel good at it. And to go a little bit faster until I hit my right fitness.
Right. Push it a little bit longer.
So follow up to that for me would be, how do you not psych yourself out? Because I tend to get into this situation, I get in my head, I know my fitness is there, I know I'm fast, but I freak out, and I'm like, I can't hold this pace. What am I, like, how do you specifically get there, where you're like, you know what, I got this? You have like a mantra or like something?
I think mantras are actually really good. and you just kind of need, and they need to be like short ones, like, I don't know, his sister's was, I'm strong, and
Yeah.
so like, if you're hurting, probably the person next to you is hurting too.
Yeah.
And so no one's not hurting, which sometimes that makes it
It's my mantra. Can't remember my mantra.
These are mine.
Mine's just, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Very simple, but it's great. Keeps anxiety low.
And I have different ones. Like I have yes you can. So yes you can. And then if I'm hurting, it's sit in the sun. Just sit in the sun. It sucks right now, but just sit. Because it's not going to go on.
For about the race, do you think if you will have waited a little bit longer to do the sprint, will that have helped or no?
If I waited a little longer, I don't think so in Boston. I think if anything, I should have tried to start earlier. Because with 2 miles to go, I was like, oh no, like I'll wait till 1,000 meters. But I think that I started to speed up a little bit earlier and maybe not sprinted so hard up the hill. I think I may have. I don't know. The more I think about it, I don't think I was going to beat those guys on that day. No matter what I did, fitness levels are different, but I think I got the most out of myself that day.
I was there. It was very exciting.
Oh, well, thank you. Great.
All right, yeah, let's take a couple questions and then I'll try to cap it. But
Okay, how did you guys meet?
We met, so I'm from Fresno, California, and he's from Utah. And so we met at BYU my freshman year back in 2019 in a religion class.
In a religion class?
Our majors are totally different. He was an athlete, I was not. Like it was very, so it was in a religion general education class.
Wow. Oh my goodness, together ever since?
We have. I took when COVID hit, I went back to California and made the decision to serve a church service mission for 18 months. And so I was in Washington State for that time. And while he finished up his time at BYU, I came home and he was graduated and had signed pro. Done all the things. We were married 6 months later.
where's your mission?
I was in Ghana.
Ghana. Okay.
Did you run when you were there?
Not really. Like when I first got there, I'd run 4 mile, more like 3 miles some days, and then it turned into 2 miles some days, and it turned to 1 mile once a week or something like that. And it got there's a long period I didn't, and then the last like 3 months I was getting 1 10-minute mile. I think it was a mile. I jogged for 10 minutes, but you have to stay with a companion when you're on these missions. And then your companion switches around.
Yeah.
So I could get, depending on what country my companion was from, some liked to run more, some didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, my last 3 months or so, I run about a mile a day at about 10-minute pace.
Wow.
What I am doing now, I will elevate.
I have a question about your nutrition. Like when you're racing, especially, you're obviously burning through at your pace a lot of glycogen. How many grams of carbs are you getting in each an hour? Or I mean, obviously you're running very fast. But what is your nutrition like?
I shoot for. I had it written down. I tried to calculate it all out. But I shoot for between 90 grams to 100 grams of carbs per hour. So in the pro race for a marathon, they let us have our own personal models. So I'll drink more in 320. I'll try to once you mix it all up, it's almost 600 milliliters, and I'll try to drink 150 to 200 milliliters every 5K. So I'll get between 80 grams to 100 grams, but I'll try and shoot for that range per hour.
No gels?
No gels.
No gels. Everyone, we're skipping the gels, guys.
Well, because like I watched Clayton's docu-series and how like anal he is about everything with the measurement. Do you do the same thing with the measuring?
So I'll measure beforehand, and how I do it in the race is I'll start drinking my bottle, and I'll have the lines measured out,
Yeah.
and I'll drink some, and then I'll look at it, and if the like fluid markers hit, is the top line. If it's at the top line, I can throw it away.
Yeah.
But I'll usually shoot to the bottom line, so
Yeah.
I'll have like an exact amount measured, but I'm not as particular as
Yeah.
Okay, well, Connor has to do an interview with Facebook Live. But thank you so much for talking to us. We will
picture.
Oh yeah, so let's get a picture.